Alright everyone, let's go over some details on this bike. I'm not going to bore you with every little spec on the bike. If you want those specs, you can go on Giant's website and they have them all on there for you. Honestly, I don't know what half the specs mean anyway. But this is the small frame. The bike comes with a spring fork. I put this bigger seat on here and softer seat. I'll show you the stock seat. Here is the stock seat. It's a lot smaller seat. And also changed out the bars for her. These bars aren't as wide. And also it's got a much more of an upsweep to it. The bike, I want to mention, the bike does not come with a kickstand. You have to buy the kickstand. So don't know why they don't go ahead and put a kickstand on the bike. On the frame, you're very limited on your space in here. You don't have any grommets to mount anything, so we found this elastic holder for the water bottle or whatever else you want to use it for. Bike does come with a bell. That's a nice touch. Let me show you how the battery comes out of the bike. You got this lock right here, and you just turn the key, and then you have to go over here on the other side and push. Kind of have to almost tap on it because it's in there pretty firm. And come over here on this side, and it comes out the side like that. Also on top of the battery you have this button you can push, and it'll show you the state of charge. So she's got 3 bars left. So let's put it back in the frame. It goes back in the frame like this. See if I can do this while holding the camera. It goes in the frame like that. Give it just a little bit of a tap like that, and then you do have to lock it to hold it in place. I think that's a really good slick. I think that's a slick setup. To charge it, you got this port at the bottom when you want to charge it on the bike. On the battery itself, it has this same port if you pull the battery off. We usually charge the batteries off the bike just to be on the safe side. So let's take this bike for a ride and see how it does. Oh, and did I mention the brakes are plenty strong? Okay, let's see how fast we can get to 20 miles per hour. I'm in the highest assist mode, and I'm starting off in the easiest to pedal gear, and I'll click up through the gears starting now. In the highest gear, 20 miles an hour, that quick. So here we are in active mode. We're just cruising along at the max speed of 20 miles an hour. And once it hits past 20, you can barely feel the motor cutting out. Okay, now let's do some single track riding and see how this bike does on single track. And after all, this is a mountain bike. And when I'm riding the single track, I always keep it in the strongest power mode. I can tell you right off, this bike handles really good with the bumps and everything. It just has a spring front fork on it, but the spring front fork is very compliant. It seems to be much more compliant than other spring forks I've ridden. These 29-inch wheels really smooth out the ride. So when we were first looking at this bike, we were kind of afraid that the 50 Newton meter motor wouldn't be enough, but it really is. It's really all that you need with road riding in this off-road riding. And this Yamaha motor is so smooth, so quiet, that I can't even hear the motor running. I could only imagine if I had like maybe like 30 pounds, 27 pounds in the tires, how much more smooth it would be then. Yeah, it's a pretty big gully here, and on the other side it's very steep. Let's see how it does. Yeah, it just dug in and crawled right up that. But right now it's very comfortable. The front fork is doing what it's supposed to do. The bike has just the right amount of flex in it. And with these 29-inch wheels, it's very compliant on these trails. And the power, I think, is just perfect. I'm moving along at a pretty good pace off-road here. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Out for now.